So the question was emailed to me about how to solve problems involving compounding interest. So this is problem number 8 in chapter 9, section 3. And I think that the challenge to solving these problems is actually using the calculator. When you're working with exponential equations, you have to be careful with rounding. And my recommendation is don't do any rounding at all. Keep the values that your calculator is calculating in your calculator. Use those values that are stored in your calculator, and don't try to round them and type them in by hand. So here's the question. How much money will you have in 6 years if you invest $10,000 at 5.8% interest compounded quarterly? So we'll go ahead and I just pulled up an editor online. For this particular problem, we're going to use the compounding interest formula. A is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus R over N raised to the NT. For this problem, our principal is 10,000. Our interest rate is 5.8%. And we want to go ahead and write this as a decimal. So that would be 0.058. Our compounding period, this is compounding quarterly, so n is equal to 4. And we're going to be doing this over, let's see, what was that time? 6 years. Okay. So we're going to be doing this over 6 years. So typing this information into our calculator, let me type this in correctly here. 10,000.058, 4, and then up here is going to be 4 to the 4 times 6, or to the 24th power. All right, so this is the values that you're going to plug into your calculator. Now let's go ahead and let's use our calculator. And again, I just pulled up a calculator on the internet just so you can see how I'm doing this. And this is pretty much the same with all graphing calculators. So the first thing we're going to do is let's do the fraction inside the parentheses. So you're going to type in 0.058, and we're going to divide that by 4. This is the decimal that we're working with now. Let's just keep it inside the calculator. So according to our order of operations, we're going to add 1 to that, still inside the parentheses. Now we have to take this value that's inside the parentheses and we have to raise it to the 6 times 4 power, or raise it to the 24th power. So I'm going to use my exponent key and type in 24. You see how this decimal is getting more involved? It's getting longer and longer. Again, we want to keep these values in there. We don't want to do any rounding because we're going to now multiply this by our principal, which is $10,000. And we get a grand total of $14,126.97. Oops, 98. We typed in 97, then that would be wrong. So let's go ahead, let's type in our answer. Let's see if we got it right. 14,126.98. Now for the great reveal. Got it.